G'day, hey, hi, and welcome. Alright, I'm doing another one of those voiceovers. And today would be known as the 14th of October, or also known as Ride 82 Day. Meaning so far I've got 82 runs on the bike at the making of this video out this year. I only put the bike on the road at the end of July when I was finished my final road test. And of course, yeah, I've got 82 out of 365 days. I got 82 days that I've ridden, even if some of the rides are kind of short. Still get out there and ride, but I try to at least get out there for about a half an hour a day, type of thing. Yeah, so I'm out on the bike quite a bit. But today's video is about kind of like the socializing of motorcycles. Basically, some people buy like dogs and they go to a park and they talk to other dog owners. Other people go to bars to meet people. Other people go to, join some sort of a club or something like that. And they, maybe they play darts, maybe they, whatever. But the social aspect of motorcycles is something that some people might not realize, that it's not just about the riding. There's a whole culture and cultures that derive from riding motorcycles. You got your sport bike crowd, you got your Harley crowd, you've got your, I guess, your Grom crowd, and you got everything else in between, right? Your cruiser crowds, your tourer crowds, your off-road crowds, your dual sports, your racing crowd. You got the whole. There's just so much offered with the motorcycle kind of genre. Like for me, this is my first year with a super sport, and I haven't really met up with a lot of people yet because just haven't gotten around. But I've talked to a lot. When I'm out on the road, I'm always talking to any other bikers. I stop and talk to people all the time, and people even at that will stop and talk to me just because the bike I'm riding is kind of a bit of a unique bike. It's not, you don't see these Triumph TT 600s everywhere, so it's like people that see them, oh wow, a Triumph, and other people, oh wow, a Triumph with a green flame job on the side, how cool, and so it just becomes a natural conversation piece in general. People get out of their cars at stop at a gas station or whatever, stop somewhere just to stop for break or whatever, and people just start talking to you. Oh, hey, I got a bike, I got this, and I ride that. I don't ride sport bikes, but I ride this, and we went here, and me and the missus went over here, and we toured around here and all that, and oh, hey, how do you like that thing? Hey, what kind of mileage you getting? It just goes and goes. Hey, did you go on that run last week there? There was a big rally here, there's a big rally there. And it's just it just opens itself up to such a social life. It's kind of, I wish kind of everybody on the planet at least learned how to ride a motorcycle at least once in their life, just so they can see what it's about, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of positivity around it. There's really not that much negative around motorcycles, except for the cost. Like the cost is the big one, and the big negativity is that you can die on these things. That's a sad reality. I mean, sure, you can die doing just about anything. You can choke on a hot dog or slip on a banana peel. Sure, anything can happen. But these things, yeah, people do unfortunately every year lose their lives on them, and stuff like that. And in fact, tonight, strangely enough, I was talking to a guy who I've known for years, but I didn't realize who he was. There was a guy I went to school with. He got killed on a bike, and it was actually that was the guy he hit. It wasn't really his fault, but he was coming out of his driveway, and the other guy was going way too fast, and that's how it ended, right? And he told, we were talking because I pulled in. And I was talking to one of my high school buddies, and he was there, and he said, "Oh yeah, that's the guy that Blair ran into." Oh my God, I didn't know. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can get killed on these things, and that'd be a horrible thing to have to live with, I'm sure. But yeah, no, and I've known the guy for years. I didn't realize it was him that he ran into. And so but yeah, he still likes bikes and stuff like that, and you'll be safe out there, because I don't want to see that happen again, like that type of thing again. It was an accident. It was, the bike was going too fast, and there were, that type of thing. But that said, for some people that's enough to keep them away from motorcycles, like tragedies like that. But there's things that people must realize too, that Usually when there is a tragedy with a motorcycle involving a motorcycle, 9 times out of 10, speed is usually the factor that gets you. I mean, speed is always a factor. As soon as you let out the clutch, the bike's rolling, right? And you got speed as a factor. And as you increase, the speed increases, the risk increases, sure. But, you know, things can happen. Uh, and that's where a mutual respect starts to develop amongst people who ride, whether they ride some sort of a sport bike or maybe they ride a cruiser or whatever it is. There becomes like a brother and sisterhood on the road where people, they acknowledge that, yeah, bad things can happen to us, and we understand. And out of that culture comes the highly known biker wave. And for riders who haven't been told about the biker wave, I was never told about the biker wave until I figured it out right away. After the first few guys passed me and they waved at me and I didn't wave at them, I was like, because I was new. This is back in the 90s when I got my license in Ontario, which then expired, and that's why I had to do all my license again last year. But I remember the first few bikes that passed me, they kept waving at me and then even sport bike guys would go around me because I was just on my LTD 440. They'd go around me and you'd see a kind of a wave as they went by, and it was like the two-finger wave or whatever. And I was like, okay, so then I just started waving at it. And then, of course, when I went to my kind of first ride night type of thing, where years ago in Ottawa, I used to go to the Byward Market. There'd be like 400 motorcycles, like from Friday night, Saturday night. Well, summertime was almost every night of the week, but on a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday night, and even most Sundays, you could guarantee there would be about 400 motorcycles just parked side by side of every make and model. It was like a bike show every weekend. It was awesome. And then the bylaws changed, and then of course they kind of broke that up. And it's too bad because it brought so many people together, even people that didn't ride. And that's where I discussed the biker wave and what it was about. And that was one of the things was no matter. I remember when this old guy, him and his wife. Well, they weren't that old. I guess I'm their age now. But he used to say, yeah, he goes, whether you're riding this or you're riding that, or we all share the road, and we all share the danger. And that's why there's that wave. Which is a very courteous respect that you get from usually one bike to the other. Now, I'm not saying there isn't jerks out there and stuff like that kind of ruin it for everybody. Give this group a bad name, give that group a bad name. You're going to get that in every crowd. But for the most part, you rarely see biker to biker incidents. It's like, okay, that bike cut me off. I mean, it does happen. Don't get me wrong. That type of thing. But you rarely see that. You tend to see more courteousness between biker to biker. No, you go first. No, you go first. You know what I mean? That type of thing. There's always going to be somebody saying, "Oh no, well, I had an incident last week. I was on my Harley and the sport bike guy cut me off on the right." Yeah, you're going to get incidents of that, but it doesn't happen that much. You're going to get Harley guys that one Harley guy passes you on the right and on the left at the same time. That may happen once in your life. You know what I mean? If that happens at all. That type of thing. So the thing is that for 99.9% of riders out there, you pull into a place and there's other bikers there, you've got an instant friend usually. And not to mention all the biker rallies, all the charity runs, all the other stuff just built around it. There's no other real sport out there that's quite like it. It can be because it can get shared so much, whether it's the biggest adventure ride of your life, or the simplest, just hop down the road to go get go to the corner store or something like that. It's always an adventure when it comes to bikes. I've always said the analogy that if you worked, 2 kilometers from work, on a car you'll try, or you work 5 kilometers from work, you'll try to get there in 3 if you're in a car. You'll do 15 kilometers if you're on a bike, just because you enjoy it. You know what I mean? They're therapeutic in their own right. You get so involved with not only the people too, but you get involved with the bike you have. It really does become a relationship where, usually when you go point A to point B in your car, it's just kind of like, okay, once you slam that car door and you get out of the thing, it's out of your head. You don't spend hours thinking about your car unless you got a really fantastic car. But a bike, even if it's the crappiest bike on the planet, you will sit there and stare at it in your garage, just kind of daydreaming of what you would like to do to it. Like put this on it or put that. I wonder if I should do this or just leave it the way it is or whatever. Or maybe the adventures you're going to go. And you'll be daydreaming about it. You'll be doing all that stuff, and then when you have other people that share the same daydreams and riding experiences that you do, well, again, you have an instant friend. So like the camaraderie amongst motorcycles and the community, the motorcycle community, which is so broad, so vast, it just reaches all walks of life, everything like that, and it's just such a positive thing that I wish more people kind of got into it. I know there's some people that are just terrified of motorcycles. Some have had bad experiences. I get that. But if you're starting off from scratch and not the hey, let's see if my buddy can handle a 120 horsepower bike, never riding before. Yeah, he's going to have a bad experience learning on something like that. Especially if most people don't know how to teach people how to ride anyway. Leave that to the motorcycle instructors. Make it a positive experience for it so they keep doing it, and then you have more friends to ride with. This year I didn't have a lot of people to ride with, and I didn't get a lot of a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't get a lot of like runs, rallies or anything like that. But next year I plan on getting a lot, right from the early spring right on. The amount of footage I'm going to have, and hopefully I'll have my GoPro mic on by that time so I can just do the video blogs. I don't have to do the voiceovers. But hopefully by that time I'll be able to get you some spectacular rallies all through Ontario and Quebec and all over the place. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. So yeah, ride safe, ride well, and take care.